This is the first video ever of Rachel Gillette that anyone has ever seen, and as you mentioned, these neighbors are shedding a lot of new light on this case. We just want to ask you a few basic questions. Just a few questions that Rachel is not willing to answer. Tonight, only 7 Action News cameras were rolling as she returned home, and as we tried to get the conversation going, Rachel closed the garage door on us. Rachel was Bob Bashara's mistress, and just last week she filed this personal protection order against Bob. In it, she says he's stalking her.
I heard a lot of noise by the door.
That's Rachel's neighbor, who did not want us to show her face. This neighbor has never spoken out before. She was cited in Rachel's personal protection order last week as having seen Bob trying to break in to Rachel's flat.
I heard a lot of noise by the door, by the side door, and I was fearful that somebody had seen the house on television. I heard the twisting of the key and the door being pushed in real hard, and I thought for sure somebody was breaking in, so I dialed the Grosse Pointe police.
Did you see the face of the person?
Yes, I did.
Who was it?
It did look like Bob Bashara.
While Rachel says she fears for her life in this PPO, her neighbors just want this ordeal behind them. They want Rachel to speak with the press.
She needs to come in front of the camera and meet with everyone.
Bob remains a person of interest in Jane Bashara's murder. As for Rachel, she has not been accused of anything, but has lawyered up, concerned she may have to testify if there is a trial. And right now there is only one person in custody in connection with Jane Bashara's murder. That's Bob Bashara's handyman, Joseph Gentz. Of course, we'll keep you posted on any new developments. Reporting live in Grosse Pointe Park, I'm Tom Waite, 7 Action News.
Tom, did she seem startled when she saw you approach her?
Yeah, she was very startled, but it's almost like she was kind of expecting it. I mean, everybody has been trying to talk to her. Everyone's been trying to get video of her. Up until now, only pictures, still pictures of her exist. That is until now, only our 7 cameras were rolling. And as you saw there, she didn't want to answer any questions. She hung out in the garage for a while. We, of course, backed off once she said she didn't want to talk.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom.
She was a stewardess aboard one of Alfred Taubman's private planes, jetting around the world. Nicole Rock says it was a dream job that turned into a nightmare.
It was very intimidating.
Nicole says wheels up or down, Taubman was all over her.
At times it got scary when he was alone. Also, in company of others that maybe he felt comfortable in front of.
Really?
That he felt he could behave in a manner that was inappropriate.
In the lawsuit filed in federal court, Rock's attorney details the graphic accusations. Among them, that 88-year-old Taubman forced his tongue into Rock's ear, kissed her, touched, and slapped her. And in one instance, Taubman allegedly pushed her onto his bed in the private jet and attempted to perform oral sex on her.
I had to seek counseling. I was very sick, very ill.
Nicole says things got worse when she got pregnant and when she returned after having the baby.
Our client was pregnant during her employment. When Mr. Taubman found out about it, the allegations are that he became very upset, and there was an element of retaliation regarding the pregnancy.
I took the maternity leave, went back to work, and was still told after the baby was born that I should have gotten an abortion. I was unable to enjoy my baby.
So why did she stay for so long? Nicole says she had bills to pay and a newborn to support. Finally, she quit.
I try not to think about this and put it in the back of my mind, but you know, it's always there. I don't think it'll ever go away.
We were told that Taubman himself was not available for an on-camera interview. His office released this statement that says the allegations contained in the complaint filed in court this morning against Alfred Taubman are not true. Mr. Taubman will address the complaint through the appropriate legal channels. We'll have more details on this story tonight at 6, including more allegations about where this happened and who it may have happened in front of. Reporting live outside the Oakland International Airport, I'm Tom Waite, 7 Action News.
Tom, I know she's just now coming forward. She worked for him for 6 years, but did she try and get help from anybody else when this was going on before she filed a lawsuit? Anything said about that from her attorney?
Well, she and her attorney said that for a lot of the time she was just scared that because Taubman was such a powerful man, such a big figure in the community, that she was afraid to come forward. She was afraid of what might happen to her, and actually she's afraid now. She was very frightened to even do this interview, so that's why it took a little longer, she says, to come forward with these allegations. Take a live look. The pastor is now speaking with police and telling them exactly what happened. We're at Linwood and Davison here on the city's west side, and this is what happened. As far as we know, the pastor had come here to this gas station, the Citgo. He was in an Infiniti vehicle. He'd come inside, possibly into the convenience store at the gas station. He was then approached by a couple of men, we believe, maybe more than that. He was roughed up. They took his Infiniti. As far as we know right now, it's still out there. We're making up a graphic as soon as we can, but again, it's a QX56 Infiniti 0DRT73. That's the license plate again, 0DRT73. But the most important thing is the pastor is okay. Of course, Marvin Winans with an incredible legacy here in Detroit. Most recently, he spoke at Whitney Houston's funeral, and he is now talking to detectives about exactly what happened and trying to help them track down the guys who did this. Again, they still have his car, and our understanding is they didn't just take the car, they actually assaulted him as well. But clearly he is, standing up. He seems to be in good physical, medical condition, and it does not appear that they had to bring in any kind of ambulance or paramedics. But obviously a terrifying situation anytime you're robbed, especially if your car is stolen. And that's what happened here apparently at this Citgo on Davison and Linwood. So that's the very latest. We are expecting to talk to Pastor Marvin Winans in just a few minutes as he finishes his interviews with detectives. We'll have the very latest as soon as we get it for you. Reporting live here in Detroit, I'm Tom Wade, 7 Action News.
Tom, forgive me if you said this. You said it was a QX56 Infiniti. Do we know what color?
I don't know right now what color. I haven't had a chance yet to speak with Mr. Winans. He obviously is with police. That's a good question. We definitely need to get that information from him. One more time, though, I'll just read off the plate. It's either a 0 or an O, DRT73, 0DRT73, and that is what police are looking for right now. And at least, I believe, 2 men on the loose. They are searching for them now.
Sounds like the pastor really did try to protect himself. It was a little scuffle.
Absolutely. Yeah. It seems like he was. It seems like he did the right thing, though. You don't want to fight with these guys. You just want to give him the car and go. And here he comes, actually. If we can take him live, I know we're running out of time here, but the pastor is approaching us, and he can tell us exactly what happened. Pastor Winans, we're live. Can we get you real quick? Come on over. Obviously, he's being good enough to talk to us here, and certainly a scary situation for him. Thank you, Pastor. We appreciate it. We're actually just live talking about what happened here. If you could tell us, you'd come to this gas station to get some fuel?
Yeah, I was on my way to Toledo.
Oh my gosh, what happened?
And came into the gas station, and when I walked in, there was just at least 10 young men in the station, and when I came out, about 4 of them followed me out, and I watched, and being aware of my surroundings, I pumped the gas, backwards, looking at them. And then when the gas kind of spilled over, I looked down, and then one of them came and hit me, and then the other ones came out and just punched me. And
you've got a cut right.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna go check my hand out and knees and whatnot. These are the pants that just ripped them off. I was indecently exposed. It was quite savage, and I just. I'm from Detroit. I live in Detroit. I love Detroit, and I just didn't want to be, when you walk in, you say, this is not a good situation.
Right, you kind of knew something was going down.
I should have turned. I said, I'm not going to be afraid of us. I'm not going to be afraid of sons and our. And
do you think they knew who you were?
I don't think they did. I really don't think they did. And if they did, it didn't make much difference.
Right. Now, what color vehicle do you have?
It's a dark purple, a deep purple X.
QX56. Is that an SUV or is that a 4-door?
It's a big. I don't.
Okay, that's a huge SUV.
Yeah,
okay,
it's
all
big,
right.
And so, yeah.
All right. Well, and we appreciate you coming over so much, and we're going to talk to these fine officers here. But obviously, you're okay. But definitely. Yeah, I mean, they really did rough you up, though.
Well. I guess.
I mean, you're standing here, so that's good, right?
Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, it's just, I'm just more saddened that it has come to this. And I guess when we think about the 84-year-old man that was killed, and this kind of nonsense just has to stop.
Absolutely.
if they would have wanted him, I'd have given them the money. It's just the savageness of what's happening in the streets, and we just have to take a look at ourselves and say, this just has to stop.
Thank you so much, Pastor. We're going to have you here, stand here for just a minute or two when we're going to talk to you once we get off the air. But there you have the latest, Pastor Marvin Winans, of course, which is an incredible legacy here in Detroit. The whole city is really his neighborhood, and you know, no one is immune to the kind of crime going on these days. Back to you in the studio.